You're not on the field, court, or ice. You're on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from a hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Court on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Good evening. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Coaching from the Couch, live from the WBGR Sports Network studios. I am your host, CWall. Welcome. Yes. I treat this like my house on Thursdays. Listen, for the next 30 minutes, you are stuck with me talking all the great and wonderful things of DC sports. I have to. It is a must. You know, I always got to do announcements first, just like in church. I have to share that I have two of my team members here, Sabrina and Joy. They are live with me in the studio. So Sabrina is helping me get set up because I'm a little touched when it comes to technology and I don't know what I'm doing all the time when it comes to my computer. So she's hooking me up on the phone so that hopefully I can see you all's comments and see who's here. Thank you, Sabrina. So, hello to everyone who is joining. Now, if you are joining this show, please make sure you are sharing. There's a button on here, right down there to the left that says, I hope it's to the left, it's on my left, that says share. Share it to the DC sports family and friends so that they can join us in the conversation live, because hey, you can watch it at any time, but live is where it's at. So hey to John Adams, Dervin, my mother who's always watching. Whew. Are there any more church announcements? There being none, let's get going. So I had no idea where to start this week's show. I said, oh my gosh, it's so much that has happened, because what do we all know? We all know that there is never, ever a dull moment in DC sports. But I had to share with you all that I had to go back in time. This is my only way to try to fit everything in 30 minutes, was to go back in time a bit from when I stopped last week. And that was me going and heading to the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Get there. Let's start there, because it's all applicable. It's definitely applicable. Trust me on this one. So get there, get to Radio Row. The first person I see is the man, the legend himself, Coach Joe Gibbs. And that is when I knew the Lord had me where he needed me to be, because I walked right up to Coach Gibbs. I introduced myself, and he just began to just engage in conversation. And when talking to Coach Gibbs, I'm going to tell you something. Everything made so much sense. I mean, he's a God-fearing man, very spiritual, full of faith. He was just a calm-spirited, just a wonderful person. I was able to, kind of shadow him for a moment, totally impromptu, but was able to shadow him for a bit and then walk with him over to the NBC Sports Washington family, where he did an interview with Brian Mitchell, who is awesome, and also did an interview with Chris Cooley and Clinton Portis, all of the above. Awesome. So you all can just imagine that level of energy of having just those household Redskins names all in the same environment. And it was just truly a blessing. Coach Gibbs is everything that you probably all could have imagined. I don't know if anyone has met him in person. If not, let me tell you, the man is truly a gem. And I'm not just saying that just to be saying it. He is a true gem, and he resonates. So you can tell that he resonates and is able to connect with whomever he's speaking with. And that was just, I was a little nervous at first, but it all worked out. He's everything you probably have imagined him to be in real life. So that was the first kind of just enjoyable part of just being in Radio Row and seeing other stars like Evander Holyfield, Deontay Wilder, saw Diamond Dallas Page, saw Tony Dungy, Hines Ward, Travis Kelce, you name it. So I said all that to say that some people think, I want to dispel a myth here, that some people believe that you have to, in order to go to the Super Bowl, your team has to be playing. That's number one, that some people think. And they also think that number two, you have to go to the game. Let me assure you, the NFL puts on a show, a real show, Super Bowl week. So the Super Bowl game is like the finale. But Super Bowl week is going on for like 7, 8, 9 days. And that whole entire time, you can see your favorite athletes all throughout the week. You do not have to go just if your team is playing or if you're going to the game. They have the Super Bowl Live, which is full of concerts and very family oriented. Plenty of things for the kids to do and just all ages overall. Yes, I did see Dak Prescott. I got some videos for y'all Dallas fans. This is all I could do for y'all. But he's a nice person. I'll go ahead and say that live on the air. He is very nice. So, but I wasn't taking a picture with him. Y'all wasn't going to take my DC Sports Street credibility. Oh, no, you were not. You wouldn't take it from me. But anyway, but I wanted to share that tidbit with you all because I think that some folks think that you have to go to the game or your team has to be playing in order for you to have just an amazing time. And that's not the case at all. You can go and have an amazing time. Shout out to the Bullseye event group. Some of you know that I have been to the Super Bowl. This is now my second time going. I went in Super Bowl 51 and now I went Super Bowl 53. I really feel like the New England Patriots, I might need to put some on my Super Bowl ring because the last 2 times I've been, the Patriots have won. So I don't know if it's them or me, but I might have to get Robert Kraft on the line to see what's up with the rings. But at any rate, the Bullseye event group does a phenomenal players tailgate before the Super Bowl game, and it's everything. It's everything, and it's a lot of fun. So wanted to share that part of Super Bowl weekend, and then of course I have to talk about the game. Last week, I tried to tell folks that the Patriots weren't going to go out like that. They were not going to lose 2 Super Bowls in a row, and they didn't. Now, all week long, I've been hearing folks talk about how boring it was and this and that. Hey, listen. It was a defensive game, and both sides came to play. Somebody, the bad thing about that is somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. And as much we all know Tom Brady, hey, he's got 6 rings now, and we're going to hear his name in sports history for the rest of our lives. Julian Edelman won MVP. Everybody knows Coach Bill Belichick is who he is and just what he kind of just has in the culture that he has with that team. But I really want to give a shout out to the defensive play caller who is now the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, and that is Brian Flores. Brian Flores, who is a brother, he held it down from the defensive play calling perspective for the New England Patriots. They were going to pull everything out that they could, and I knew that it had to be a defensive show. Now, the thing about it is, when it's a defensive show, it's not as sexy. So that's what happened. Everybody's like, this game's boring. Oh, it's not gonna be lit up when it's defensive intensive, I should say. So shout out to Brian Flores. both defensive coaches, honestly. Wade Phillips, shout out to him. They did a phenomenal job. To me, those were the MVPs, were the defensive play callers, because they pulled out all the stops and with ultimately the New England Patriots winning the Super Bowl and winning that Vince Lombardi trophy. So football season is officially over. So we'll still have a lot to talk about because there's always going to be things going on. Not so much this week on the Redskins, but we'll have to just see, what happens. Through the off season, it's plenty to do. Draft coming up, NFL Combine, so we'll see what happens. Moving on to the next topic because we got a lot to cover. Yesterday was National Girls and Women in Sports Day. So I hope if you know a woman in sports, I hope you gave them a high five or a shout out, because yesterday was sure enough the National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Yesterday was also National College Signing Day, where the high school senior student athletes all across the country announced where they were going to school. I want to shout out all of the students and the parents for a job well done. There are a few students that I know personally. Either I know them personally or I know their parents, and so I must shout them out. First one being Amir Abdul Rahim. He is a good girlfriend of mine's son, and the thing of it is, I've known him since he was a baby. And so, don't start adding and subtracting to try to figure out how old I am, okay? But at any rate, I've known him since he was a baby, so it was just a delight to see him up there. His mom sent me the link and showed it to me live, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. But he is a defensive back from Friendship Collegiate Academy in D.C., and he announced on yesterday that he's been accepted into Lincoln University. Then shout out to him. Woo! Yay! H.D. Woodson Senior High School, Devon Walker, wide receiver, who is headed to Morgan State. Kudos to you and to parents. Then we have Devin Williams. He plays corner at Westlake High School in Waldorf. He committed to Bowie State University. Shout out to the HBCUs. Can we shout out the HBCUs? Then Devin Williams. He plays, wait, did I just say him? I just said Devin. Tyreek Blunt from Riverdale Baptist. He is a wide receiver who is also committed to Bowie State University. And then Jordan Johnson from Riverdale Baptist. He plays wide receiver and corner, who has a full ride to Morgan State University. Shout out to you all. Phenomenal job. And shout out to, again, all of the parents for a job well done. Just some other notes from just the overall perspective. Georgetown football welcomes 16 new members of their class of 2023 football team on signing day. The Terps got 17 new players signed with them. That's 2 4-star recruits and 6 3-star recruits. Big name for the Maryland Terps. They scored 4-star QB from Louisiana, Lance Lejeune. It took me a long time to figure out how to say that. So Lance Lejeune will be here. Welcome to Terps family. So kudos to everybody. Want to shout this out too. My guy Russ McCray gave this information out earlier, which I thought was awesome. We got a shout out to DC Hoops legend Ducky Vaughn. So Ducky is known to some as the greatest point guard that some of these guys have said that they've ever seen play. But he was just inducted into the Halifax County, North Carolina Basketball Hall of Fame. So shout out to Dougie on a job well done. Of course, all of your work is never in vain, and you still have people that are excited and look up to you. So that is amazing that you made the Halifax County, North Carolina Hall of Fame. I got family down there. That's why I had to say something. Have to give a shout out. And this is actually not a shout out, but it's actually like kind of is sad. But Frank Robinson, Baltimore Orioles Hall of Famer, did pass away at the age of 83. He was also the first Nats manager. So want to send some love and just some condolences to his family, all that know Frank and love him, and that he will definitely be missed. Frank is definitely a legend in the game. 2-time MVP. All-Star MVP, World Series MVP, Triple Crown winner, all while he was playing for the Baltimore Orioles. So with it being, of course, Black History Month, we definitely need to shout him out anyway. But condolences to his family. Real quick, I don't know where Bryce is going. Bryce Harper, we're moving on to Bryce Harper. I don't know, who knows. Bryce Harper put out a very cryptic tweet at the beginning of this week, and we don't know where he's headed. He has been interviewed again by the San Francisco Giants, so we'll just see what happens there. Spring training camp for baseball is right around the corner. So it's time for somebody to do something, whether it's Bryce or an organization that really wants him. I would imagine they didn't believe that this was going to go on as long as it did, but it has. So here we are. All right. Now I'm trying to find something regarding the Washington Wizards. Is that going to be, let's see. The Washington Wizards. So, when I was coming down off my Super Bowl high, then everything is everywhere, right? It's all this news. Everything is everywhere the whole entire time. What is the news? Why don't I share with you? I'm sure everyone knows, but here in detail, John Wall has to undergo surgery to repair a ruptured Achilles tendon. Now, he was already hurt and out for the season, right? This procedure, at least at the time, has yet to be scheduled. It will be done in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but he will be out for a year. This is a big deal because the type of player that John is, there's maybe, I don't know if there's any player that has actually been the same at that same level of play after a surgery. This is a big deal. Now, he had developed an infection in the incision from the initial surgery on January 8th. And then he suffered the rupture after that. So, this is a big deal for the Wizards, right? So, after, let's see. So, last week, let's just play some things back, right? Because I know what I've shared with you all. Ted Leonsis says, absolutely not. The Wizards will not tank. Okay. Then, last weekend, they say, nobody's getting traded. Right? Nobody's getting traded. Then this comes out about John's injury. And then it's like, oh my God. No John. No John. Then we're coming up on NBA trade deadline. And what happens? Otto Porter Jr. to the Chicago Bulls for Bobby Portis and Jabari Parker. And a 2023 second round pick. Okay. So my first thought is this. Good. Because everyone knows, let's just put it out there. The Wizards have some very bad contracts on there. John's is one of them, but you can't just get rid of John. You can't just, that is a loaded situation right now with his injury, and you can't just get rid of his contract. That is not easy. It's a whole lot more there to unpack. Who's next? With him being injured, that is that's the bad one, because now you're paying somebody this money and the best ability is availability, and he is no longer available. So we in trouble. Otto gets traded, and I just had shared a couple weeks ago, I said, I like Otto coming off the bench. Not for all that money. He shouldn't be coming off the bench for all that money. But here's the reality. There's too much money being spent and not maximum results. So when you have maximum money going on, you need maximum play going on, and that's not what was going down. So Otto was the odd man out, the first odd man out. I have to say that I was a little bit surprised by that news. I'm going to be honest with you all, because it's something is up. Either Ted and Ernie, I don't think, are on the same page. Clearly Ernie is cleaning up contracts and stuff that shouldn't have been in place in the first place. You know, because he's a mastermind at cleaning up his own mess, and that's cool, because you got to be able to know, you got to be able to do that. But they had just told Otto directly over the weekend that he was not going to be traded. Okay? They informed him during the pregame workout, basically, hey, let me come talk to you for a minute. Go ahead and put that basketball down. I need you to come with me. Matter of fact, give me that Wizards jersey. Give me that Wizards shirt. You got to go. You a Chicago Bull now. I get that it's business, but I got to get on my soapbox real quick about this. I totally understand business. I do. But there has to be a better way to inform these guys that they're being traded. I mean, I know things are happening quickly, and it's just, you just never know when deals are going to happen, and when, like, boom, you know, hey, now this other team is going to go for it. But for what it's worth, you know, perhaps maybe he shouldn't have traveled with the team. I don't know. But I just know that, here's what I do know. I know every single person on that team, I can confirm this, wants to play basketball, can play basketball, and enjoy being a Washington Wizard. When you are traded in that manner, it's a little cold-blooded to me. It's a little cutthroat to me. I think one of the challenges for Otto was trying to live up to the standard of how much he was getting paid. Let me be very clear about something. These players read social media. If it were me and I had some real legit say so, I would tell them turn their phone off. You know, log out, log off. But Otto was a person, I feel very comfortable in sharing this, that he was well aware that people didn't think he was playing worth the money that he was getting, and he knew that. And so with him going to Chicago, I hope he finds that instinct, or just something, because it was truly missing. You could never really catch it, what it was. But I was only sad to see him go, because I know how hard he was trying, but something still just never clicked. And the reality is, it was too much money being spent. So Otto was the first. He was the first casualty. See you, Otto. Thank you for all that you did. Very nice person, and I wish you nothing but the best. Then it was my man, Markieff Morris. Now, Markieff, I said last year, Keith, you know, other than Death Row DC, Keith can go on ahead, for real. But he can go right on. He can go right on. But Keith is now going to the New Orleans Pelicans, right, in exchange for Wesley Johnson, all right. And we're gonna talk a little bit about these new players, because I'm gonna go into the Capital One Arena and not know who anybody is. I'm gonna be like, who are these people? Because it's literally such a different team already. I mean, no more Jason Smith, no more Kelly Oubre Jr. I feel like there was somebody else too. No Otto Porter Jr., no Markieff Morris. And some of those guys, those four were actually some of the court that people were used to seeing on a regular basis. You know, those were the ones that were going to the promos and the autograph signings and everything. They would be engaged with the fans a lot. And now they're gone. So I think the objective of this trade time was to get under the luxury tax. And the Wizards did that. Good for them. But I had to ask. You know, I have to go to social media. Because this is like, as much as many fans and folks don't care for Ernie Grunfeld, right? it's like, does this make Ernie look like a genius? Or is this just simply, hey, listen, I got to get rid of these contracts?
John Adams says Ernie is the arsonist and the fireman.
He's the arsonist and the fireman. He started the fire and he gonna put it out. That's an excellent way of putting it, John, because that's what he just did. We saw a live look, and then you just created this mess and you just cleaned it up right fast, didn't you? And now people are happy. Some people are like John, right? You're the arsonist and the fireman. Get on out of here, Ernie. We know this is a joke. But you did what you needed to do. You needed to get rid of some of those contracts, and you did that. The question then becomes, are the Wizards any better as a result of this? No. Just give you a short answer. I don't believe so. I mean, it remains to be seen, because now what you're dealing with is a situation where Scott Brooks has to now change how he does things as the head coach, and we know that we all have our our gripes with Scott Brooks at a point in time, and then Bradley Beal, who has really been carrying this team, he has to adjust, because essentially his whole starting lineup is now different. Nobody is there that was there at the beginning of this year, certainly not last year. In the starting five is what I mean. So everybody has to learn each other and build that chemistry and that camaraderie again. Now, what does this mean? I go back to, okay, they said they wasn't going to trade nobody, and then guess what happened? Somebody got traded. Matter of fact, ain't just somebody got traded. Two people got traded. Two well-known players. They got traded. Okay? And all right. But they said no tanking. Ted said absolutely not to tanking. The Wizards are probably going to tank. Like I said, I don't want them to tank. I don't. I want, okay, y'all here, let's fight on, everybody. And maybe they won't tank, but I just would not be shocked if they did. And the NBA, considering what's going on with John Wall, I wouldn't be shocked if something happened. They need Rivers and Oubre. Well, hey, I mean, that would have been nice if they were here. But hindsight is 2020, right? That's Robert Alston. Hindsight is 2020, because the first thing I said was, if they were going to get rid of Aldo, why do we get rid of Kelly? Like, why do we do this? But you gotta go. You gotta move as you go. Can't look back. That was Ernie's decision. Let me share a little bit about the new Wizards. And let me just basically say really quickly, I asked the same thing to some Wizards fans, and everybody basically said some people think it's a good move. They think it's good. Some people think these are guys that can make the Wizards better. We'll see. That gives us an opportunity to see if the Wizards will be better. What's funny is, I don't think some fans want the Wizards to be better. I think they want them to tank. And some people are like, Ernie can't even tank right. Like, why are we doing this to be good? Like, just... And let's stink so that we can get some good draft picks. So, yeah, my girl Jewel is joining. Yes, the new chemistry will be different. I don't know if anyone tuned in to Bradley Beal's post-game interview yesterday. Scott Brooks flat out said, as they were asking him about the auto trade, he straight up said, I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about the game. Which was bad enough how the Wizards went down, how they lost to the Bucks last night. I didn't even talk about that. But, Thomas Bryant was like, it's a heck of a week. And it has been a heck of a week. Let me try to tell you all a couple things about who we're getting from a Bobby Portis perspective. So Bobby Portis, he's a 23-year-old power forward from Little Rock, Arkansas. All I really know, to be honest with you, Bobby Portis, he's a little like a Markeith. He's a bit of a hothead. He gets put out of games. One time, I think this was last year when he were playing the Wizards, actually. I think he punched Satoransky in the face. He did something. He said it was unintentional, but he got kicked out of the game. So, he's that guy. That's all I got on him. I mean, he's doing well. I mean, He's that actually statistically he's having his best season. Jabari Parker is a former Duke Blue Devil. Okay, so that should make me happy, right? Whatever. I tried to play that one off and couldn't. But he's good. He's good. They still may have those same challenges. Hey, Kevin, may still have those challenges defensively. And I think that's the problem. When I say does it make the Wizards better, we can see if they can get in a shootout with somebody, but they still got to learn how to play defense. Because in the last 3 games, they've given up like 416 points. It's been kind of crazy. I got that's a lot to be given up. So all we can do is see Wesley Johnson, former Syracuse star. So we have to see what happens and what goes. How are we doing on time, ladies? Okay, so that's my soapbox on the Wizards. All we can do is wait and see and figure out who everybody is because we got a lot of new players and we'll just see what happens until next week, right? So thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Have a beautifully blessed night, and I will see you next Thursday.
Sports is what we do. It's the fast track at peak speed, moving across the ice, blockers, hitters, B-team, beatdowns, and knockouts, doubleheaders, playoffs, touchdowns, smackdowns, on the mat or on the track. The spirit of a champion. The triple-double. Make that